Welcome to the Twitch session of the cybersecurity community. We are going to explain a bit the trip that we did to make the automation framework for pentester live. And this session will be, first of all, I want to present you Samuel Hernandez, that is my teammate and community co-lead, let's say. And we are going to present today a tool to make easy the duties of a pentester. So the session today will be divided in 4 parts. The first one will be the history of how we discover and technology that allows us to build this application, how we create an application from scratch, and finally we are going to present the application itself. Of course, you have the source code available on GitHub, so feel free to download it, play with it, and if you want to contribute, you will be welcome. So let's start.
So to start the discussion, let's go back to the beginning to how the idea came up. Perfect. We were working on a project and we faced a little problem that maybe not a problem, but an opportunity, because thanks to this problem, we are here today in Twitch presenting this repo for this amazing tool. And well, anyway, the problem was the following. We had a web application with a MongoDB database, and for project needs, we had to migrate from MongoDB to Amazon DocumentDB. So far, so good until here. But the problem came when we had to connect this new Amazon database with the web application that was in Microsoft Azure. And why? Why the problem, no? Because Amazon doesn't allow access to this database outside the Amazon network. So this connection between the database and the web application was not possible. And not only that, even from our local host, we couldn't connect to this Amazon database. So we spent a lot of time reading a lot of documentation and drinking a lot of coffee, as you can see here in the picture. And well, finally, we found that there was an option, a solution to connect to this Amazon database. We read about the possibility of creating an SSH tunnel between our host or the web application host that was in Azure and one Amazon Elastic container that basically is a virtual machine that is inside the Amazon network. And since this virtual machine is inside the Amazon network, it will have access to the database that we want. So once we had this scenario set up, we discovered that we could bind a port on our local machine or on our Azure machine to the port of the database machine. So basically, the SSH client listens for connections on a configured port on the origin. And when it receives a connection, it tunnels the connection to the SSH server. And the server connects to the destination port that can be on the same machine or on a different machine than the SSH server. So yes, we had a solution that seemed to fit, and we just needed to apply it into the code. And that's where we have the SSH library, a library that allows us to do what you see in this schema, but with .NET code.
So we had a solution, and I have heard a lot of times some pentesters complaining about remembering how to make the port forwarding, how to make the pivoting, and how they need to write the same commands day rear day, and they have a lot of knowledge, but they need to spend a lot of time taking evidence, writing the commands that they use to make the pen test, and so on. So I thought, why with this new SSH technology that we have been playing with, we don't do an application to make it easy to take profit and automatize um, all the repetitive tasks that a pen test need to perform in his day to day. So, what is the idea? The idea is to provide you with a tool that allows you to do a fast pen test, so apply your knowledge in a fast way, that you can focus on concrete systems with concrete vulnerabilities, and that allow you to make team working. It is, you can use your knowledge, you can upload it to the application, and this knowledge can be used for any pen tester in your team. And in this way, we are sharing techniques that otherwise everyone knows his own, and you are losing part of this knowledge. Said that, another pain point that we detect is the need to recap the evidences of the pen testing. So why not, when a command is executed, store the evidence directly, so the pen tester don't have to think about it. But we have a statement, we have a goal, a target, and we go for it. So it sounded good, so we start the development process. So, part 2, development process. We want something that was easy to use, functional, and that achieve what we want. So we start with a proof of concept, and we start with an ugly, really ugly proof of concept, that it was a WinForms with the following features. We wanted to make a network mapping. It means I want to say which networks are connected to the target machine. In these networks, what are the hosts that are live, and in this host, which ports are open. So I want to run a full discovery. The second one is I want to make the port forwarding easy. So I want to click on a port and say, hey, this port, I want to map it to this machine. And this port, of course. And the last and the most powerful one is to run commands. So here we have a working application, but it's very ugly. So without, okay, I show it to Samu, and Samu says, hey, this is very ugly, guy.
Super ugly.
Let's make it nicer, because it's hard to use, because it hurts your eyes.
Yes.
But I have to present my masterpiece in 4 days since that, and we are running out of time. So I said we have no time to make an application with more with a better look and feel. And Samu said, "Who says fear? Let's try." So we decide.
It was an opportunity.
Yeah. So we decided to try to give the application a look and feel like the retro hackers, so in green and black. And we started. We started to make the change from a WinForms to a .NET Core backend with an Angular frontend that you can run in a web server. And yeah, we stay 3 days almost without sleep, but finally we have an application that was in our thinking quite nice. Not everyone is agree, but we like it, no?
Yes.
So once the application was finished with the new look and feel, we state some limitations. So the first one and the most important is that you cannot run interactive commands in the connection. Why? Because you don't have at the moment we are coding the application, the fast response that we need to make the interactive commands. So we only run passive commands and take the response and so on. The second issue was that we don't know when a command is finished. So we somehow need to implement a sort of timeout, and especially for every command, and try to capture the response. Because that it's a bit technical, but SSH.NET allows you to run a single command and get the response, and this is like transactional until you don't finish. You don't get the response, but there is another way to work that it's for us was the ideal one, that it's like a console. So it's like if I am writing in a keyboard and I am looking at the screen, and this one is harder because the response you need to read the stream and so on, so it was quite difficult. Another issue, we take the Windows directory format, so when we migrate to a Linux machine or a Mac machine, the folders were not working, so we need to refactor it, and yeah, that's it. The other one is that only one connection was allowed. You need a previously compromised machine in order to work, and the database that we used to store the commands and so on was raw text. And that it's because the hurry of the situation. So it was a bit crazy, but it was working. So at this point we move on and we made some improvements. The first one is we add the base attack machine support. It means you can configure like a Kali Linux with SSH access, and you can use this machine to attack a third machine. So this is good because if you see the kill chain of a penetration test, we were starting when a machine was compromised, and this allows us to shift left from the discovery process. We had some testing because at the beginning the application was not tested at all.
Yes, testing is always good.
And testing is always a good idea.
Yes.
We changed the folder structure to support multi-OS. So now the application can run in Windows, Linux, in a Docker, wherever you want, you can run the application. So this is good because you can upload the application to a web server, and many pentesters can work in the application, and all the commands that they introduce and all the discovery that they configure will be available to everyone. So it's a good improvement.
Here is funny to say, no, that we did all the tests on our Windows machines.
Yeah.
And when we tried on a Linux computer, everything explodes the first time.
And
but now it's fixed.
Yeah, now it fits. And the last one is that we support the database in JSON file format that allows us in the future to migrate to a MongoDB or to a non-relational DB and make a better improvement. That will be better than a file system for sure.
Yeah.
So, say that.
Okay, so yeah, now.
Sorry.
Now, okay, so now after telling you our entire life or story about how we did this project, let's see the final result. Okay, so this is the first screen that we can see when we open the application. This is the dashboard. And as you can see, we have that retro style that that David commented at the beginning. In this screen, we have two main areas. The apps area, where we can find different tools that we are offering in the application, like displaying a network map, running predefined scripts, or just running a shell. And also, yes. And also we have the configuration area where we can add all the information needed to work with the application. Later, probably, I think that we are going to see a kind of demo.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And here you have the screen for configuring a new target machine. This is a simple form where you can add the IP, port, username, password, and if needed, other additional parameters. Once you click save, the application sets this machine as the target machine, and we save the data in these JSON files that we saved at the beginning.
Yeah, the next screen is the part, maybe the most important part of the application, because it's where you configure the commands. So I would like to show you live how a command is configured. So let me switch to my browser. As you can see, this is the screen that we see before. And when we are going to create a discovery, I think the backend stopped working. Okay, whatever. We can set the command name in order to identify it easily and fast. If it's interactive or not. Just now it's not working, it's only not interactive. Here we will write the command itself. It can be as simple as an ls or as complicated as run an escalation privilege script or whatever. We can configure the timeout for the command, and here it's where the magic starts. We can save the output of the command in a file, so we have the evidence in a file in the disk, so we can use it for our report later. The next thing is if we are capturing a file with hashes, that it's or we are extracting hashes from whatever, Active Directory, shadow file, whatever you can imagine, you can give here the name of the file. That can be the same as you save in the output, and you can specify a dictionary to try to crack the passwords. And this will use the password cracker application that you configured in the first screen, that you can choose between John the Ripper or Hashcats right now. And it is able to detect the hash type and apply the parameters, the best parameters for the hash that you are working on. And last, but not the less important, is the discovery, because discovery commands are working in another way. You need a command to discover networks. For example, IPA. I will see all the networks that are connected to this host. I will grab the network address, and I will get all the networks that are connected. The second one is with this grep, I will have the host as a variable. This is documented, so I'm explaining it, but you can search the documentation and you will see how it works. And I can run here, for example, an nmap with the network. In this case, is network. This will be replaced for as many networks as the previous command discovered. And the last one is a port scanner. So you can run an nmap, for example, with the services, and here you can specify all the hosts that you find in the previous command. And when we run this command, the network map will be printed out. And this is the command configuration. Once you have the commands, you can, now the backend is stopped, but you will have the list of the commands here, and you can drag and drop to here and create a script with the order you want to run them, and save this script. Let's stop. So you can save this discovery or load it to modify or whatever you need. And that's it. So let's back to the presentation. Once you have, as you can see here, you have the discovery list, and you can launch, and you can see the result of each command in the screen once it finishes, and you will have the folder with all the evidences that you said you want to save. And the last one, that it's maybe the most nicer screen that we have.
Yes.
I think, no. Let me see if I can. If I can restart it, because I want to show how it works really. It will be nice. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Now it's working. So as I said, you can put the commands here, you can edit the command. The discoveries, you have the grep to get the network, you can use the network, you can use the host, and so on. And then you can load if you have any attack, any previous attack store, you can edit here. And the network map, you can see all the hosts that you discover. And let me do something. If someone is interested, I can just write to me, and I will help anyone to configure and make it working. So that is pretty much the application. Let's go to the final part of the Twitch. It's quite short. Maybe we can comment something about technical specs and so on, but let's see. So this is all. We had a quite nice application that it's working, and we have a lot of things to improve and as said at the beginning, you are very welcome to participate, to help us. All the ideas are welcome, and if you have knowledge in any of the next steps that we have in mind, for sure we will count on you. So
yeah, these are some of the steps that we want to follow in the future. The most important, I think, that is the first one, the signal R. That is a library that will allow us to implement the interactive commands, because we will be able to see in real time the execution of the backend in the front. And later, of course, we need to add more testing, because now we have a poor coverage, and we want to have a better type of files, because now all the configuration that we have is stored in JSON files, and we want to add some LightDB or SQLDB. And if we can in the future, add more CSS themes, because now we only have this retro style, but we want to add also a more elegant style.
yeah, maybe something more formal and more
Yes.
corporate style, let's say.
Exactly.
So this is all. You have any question? It will be welcome. I think Francisco had a question, so to make your response online, it depends. The user and password is to the machine that you are going to use for the first pivoting. So if you don't have a compromised machine, it will be your user and password, that it's from the machine that you control. And if you have a compromised machine, it will be this compromised machine user and password. It's clear. Well, if there is no questions, I will share with you a questionnaire about the session. We want to hear how do you see, if you like it, and you will be very welcome if you fill the request. Thank you, Enrique.
Thank you.
Let's give a minute more to scan the QR. You remember, you have the
You have the
GitHub
repo.
on the Ernie Academy, and you can download, and for sure, if you have questions, anything you want to know in depth about the code, about how it works, please write me. So
Yes, and please feel free to create pull requests and add new functionalities.
yeah, the idea of this tool is to make something collaborative, that everyone can upload his favorite commands, and it
Or
will be nice.
CSS styles. Yeah.
And the last, we are always looking for people. We are a very big family, and we enjoy doing things. So if you want to become an Ernian, check out the opportunities, because maybe we have a place for you. So thank you very much. See you over there.
Thank you, and see you. Have a good day. Bye
Have a
bye.
nice evening.